Hey guys, we are finishing up this chapter today, all of a sudden, talking about some specific types of unemployment. And some of the definitions are a little bit tricky. Okay, so first of all, let's kind of quickly review what it takes to be unemployed. All right, pretty simple. I've got to not have a job and I've got to be looking for a job. Okay, not saying I want one. I'd be like, I'm gonna go look for a job tomorrow. I'm unemployed today. No, you've got to have some applications and you've got to be doing your due diligence. Okay, so that's the rule. We're gonna review that rule as we kind of move forward. We're gonna give you four different definitions. I'll share the assignment with you towards the end. And it's a pretty quick day today. All right. So the first thing that can cause someone to be unemployed is really making the choice to be unemployed, which is kind of sounds you're like, well, how would on earth would I choose to be unemployed? Well, if you are looking to find a job from not having a job, so maybe some of you guys that are graduating, maybe some of you guys that are simply just looking for a job, period, because you're bored now or for the summer. Maybe like a stay-at-home parent's kids that start school and they become friction unemployed because they decide to go to work after their kid's not home all day anymore. Maybe you quit your job, okay, when you aren't satisfied with how much money you make, you don't like your job, you don't like your boss, whatever the situation might be. Those are all examples of frictional unemployment. And so I give you kind of an analogy to remember that. And again, like I mentioned, this is kind of choosing to be unemployed. So when the economy is doing really well, we see frictional unemployment a lot because people have the feeling that they can go find something better for themselves. They're confident that there's going to be a job out there. When we see the economy not doing well, you don't see very much of this. So right now, people aren't necessarily quitting their job very often because they don't know it's uncertain what the economy is going to do here over the course of the next few months, maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months. And so, again, people behave in ways that are relatable to how the economy is doing. The next one is structural unemployment. Let me go back. Sorry. So I have an analogy like you have friction with your situation. Okay. So your boss might not like you. You do have friction with your boss. You decide that I don't want to do that because again, frictional unemployment doesn't really doesn't really ring a bell when we think about it. Okay. Structural unemployment is kind of the same way. All right. Structural unemployment is pretty simple, but it's going to be unemployment when technology replaces us. Okay. So whether or not that be like a robot on an assembly line, whether or not that be a robot at McDonald's, if you're a cashier at McDonald's, maybe a farmhand, maybe the farmer decides to buy a machine instead. And so the way that I remember that, maybe the internet replaces you. The way that I remember that is that a structure is built or created. Again, the term structure, that can mean the internet, right? And so the term structure, okay, a structure is created that replaces you. Okay, so again, this happens here and there. We know that again, it happens obviously probably faster than ever before in terms of how technology is increasing all the time. But it is something that causes people to lose their job. Seasonal unemployment is when the season changes. And so, for example, if you mow lawns in the summer, in the wintertime around here, we do not need people to do that, obviously. So the tricky part about seasonal unemployment is you have to be looking for a job in the off season to be considered unemployed. So a question might be, well, is a teacher unemployed in the summer? It depends. Are they looking for a job? And so again, now teachers cannot collect unemployment in the summer, but they can um, claim that they are unemployed if they're looking for a job. Okay, so that one's easy. Seasonal unemployment, it's in the term, easy. Cyclical unemployment is the dangerous one, the one that we can't really prepare for or know that's coming. Okay, so this is when businesses simply don't have any customers and they decide to lay workers off. Okay, and so it happens with these cycles of business activity. This is what's happening within the United States right now with this COVID stuff is businesses, whether they don't have business, whether they're afraid they aren't going to have business and stay in business for a while, they're laying workers off. Okay, and the workers are experiencing unemployment. Okay, so that's the one that happens in cycles. Um, Obviously, we want these cycles to not last very long on the downside of things. So, those four types of unemployment, here's your assignment. All right. I want you a chance to get somewhat creative is give me an example of a certain person for each of these that becomes unemployed. So, like, tell me a story. Okay. So, for example, like don't copy what I have here. So using it in my sentence here, I said Horace was frictionally unemployed when he graduated high school until he found a job. So you can get creative with what your story is. It just has to be a sentence or two. It doesn't have to be very much. Give yourself a chance to think a little bit more creative. Entertain me. I need some entertainment around here these days. All right. And you're going to do that for each of the different types of unemployment. You can't use COVID for the cyclical unemployment. You cannot do that. Okay. So give me a specific job somebody gets decides to leave or become unemployed from, and then give me some type of background if needed as how they got that. Okay. So you should have four answers. Person A became frictionally unemployed when blah 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 blah. Uh, Structurally unemployed, same thing. Seasonally unemployed, same thing. And then the last one is obviously cyclically unemployed. All right. That's the end of this chapter. Get that assignment to me. We'll be moving forward talking about government spending. Next chapter, some interesting topics, I think, and we'll talk on Monday. Enjoy the nice weather this weekend. It's supposed to be awesome. Get this done. If you get this email, well, you've already watched it. Get it done tonight, I was going to say, but so you can enjoy the weather, but you will not have known that until you watch this. Okay. I will talk to you guys soon.